On the gridiron or courtside, you know what time it is. It's
Sports plus life. Sports plus life.
ringside or front court or field pass. We ballin', no. Knuckle up or buckle up. I tell it like it is when I'm on my show. Home run, slam dunk, knockout, or got some dough.
Sports plus life.
Yeah.
Sports plus life. Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's really good? It's your boy Brandon Brevon, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You feel me? Now this is an unexpected episode today, so you know it's still gonna go down. So guess what? Turn it off. Go ahead and turn it all the way off, homeboy. Yeah. There we go. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and this here is Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast where we talk about all of the necessary topics in sports and all of the necessary topics in life. And remember yesterday I said that I'll probably come on and do a show today just because I ain't have none of my homies on where we could talk a little ish about what's been going on in the world of sports. I mean, you know, it's now NFL free agency time. So you know it is bananas, it is bonkers, and that is really the point of this show. And with that being said, you know, like I said, that is the point of the show. And I have Tony on the line. What it do, bro?
What it do? It's a lot of dollars being flung out there. I don't know if it's good dollars, bad dollars, but it's a lot of dollars getting flung out there now.
Lot of dollars, and that's the first question I'm just going to go ahead and ask you. The NFL free agency, what say you so far?
Well, I'll go to prior to free agency and chime in on Mr. Cooper. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. For those that don't understand, people will say, well, why'd you only trade him for this pick or, you know, that round pick? Basically a 5th round pick with a 6th round swap. 3 years at $20 million each year is why. Because they're taking that contract. We don't owe him anything. It's like, you know, it freed up money, and apparently there was, unlike his first year, there was some kind of disjointedness going on with Dak and Amari. And they drafted CeeDee Lamb with the express intent that ultimately this guy was going to be the number one receiver. So, I mean, you got to show up in big games. If you're going to get paid that kind of money, be the number one receiver, you know, big games, you got to produce. And Amari, as we discussed on a previous podcast, he has that Kawhi Leonard thing going on where he looks, just the expression on his face, his body language says, I'm here, but I'm not really here.
Well, that's the only thing him and Kawhi Leonard got in common, because Kawhi shows up in big games. Right.
Yeah.
But no, I totally understand that, and I don't disagree at all. You know, it was just a point of whether he was going to get released or whether he was going to get traded. So, I mean, the bottom line is you got back some kind of value for him. So, I mean, I don't fault you for that. I don't fault you for that. Now, what do you think of the Gallup contract?
I think Gallup has a lot of the injury thing, you know, kind of scares me, you know, coming off that kind of injury. But overall, I think the contracts that they've given so far, even with the Marcus Lawrence new deal, even the Gregory deal, they're I don't have a problem with the guy.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You haven't heard about Randy Gregory?
Yes, I did. That's what I'm saying. Even the contract they gave him, I don't, based on past stuff, and which was stupid. I mean, the whole weed thing.
Hold on, wait a minute. You really don't know about Randy Gregory?
What do you mean? They signed him. What are you talking about?
Hold up.
Not unless they pulled the deal at the last minute.
No, he pulled a U-turn and signed the same contract with the Broncos, bro.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, again, I was unaware because I saw Schefter announcing that we had reached terms with him yesterday.
Go to ESPN.com, bro. It says Gregory flips on Dallas to join Broncos.
Well, that's it. Well, regardless, when I think that because it was only really one of three guys that we were looking at, and one of the guys is your guy, is mine.
Yeah.
So I mean, comes down to which one do you trust more? Well, track record, you say mine. Age-wise, it's Randy Gregory all day, but from a track record standpoint, you trust mine. I don't know.
I mean, it says, because I literally just woke up to it. Now, make no mistake about it. Us signing Randy Gregory doesn't really move me. Is DJ Jones is the one that I like that we got.
Right.
The dude from San Francisco. Yeah, that's the one that I like because, like, he quietly as it kept was the second best D tackle in the league behind Aaron Donald. That's the move right there. To me, as long as Randy Gregory's best of ability is his availability, okay, fine. I mean, but that, like I said, that didn't move me because I'd rather have Von Miller back. But I just thought it was funny, just the way that ESPN.com listed the article. Gregory flips on Dallas to join Broncos. I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute. And
to be fair, and I ain't even joke. He probably chose y'all because he could smoke.
Probably.
I mean, honestly, because that literally that's the only reason why he would do that.
Have you looked it up? Do you see it for yourself now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, but okay, so like I said, me personally, the guys that I was looking for Denver was Bobby Wagner and Von Miller. I'm not mad at them for getting younger players, but all that is the Russell Wilson effect. All that is, notable free agents are going to want to come to a team where they feel they have a better chance to win. And that's not me knocking on Dallas or anybody else. But what do you think of now the rumors is Deshaun Watson may end up in Atlanta?
Last I heard, he was going to talk to the Browns.
Well, he also talked to the Saints and the Panthers. But this is all breaking news stuff. This is all breaking news stuff that's coming down within the hour. That the Atlanta Falcons are now a major player in this for Deshaun. So
I don't know what to make. Any talk with Deshaun Watson, you take with a grain of salt because there's still some variables to that. And these packages, they keep talking about the Saints, they talk about the Panthers, and that the Texans found the packages decent enough to consider it, but they're not saying what the packages are. And that is what determines whether or not getting Deshaun Watson is good for your team. What you got to give up.
Right. And for
real, if I'm the Texans, I'm not playing footsie with Deshaun Watson. I'm saying this is what we find palatable, what's best in the best interest of the Texans. Now you can pick from this.
Well, ultimately he has to waive the no trade clause.
That's what I'm saying. You can pick from this, or you can remain a Texan. Your choice.
Okay. Well, so what do you think of Davante Adams saying that he will not play on the franchise tag?
I think based on the contract they gave Aaron Rodgers, they already capitulate, and they might as well go ahead and capitulate and get a man a new deal.
Well, now what's being said about the Aaron Rodgers contract that most of the guaranteed money is on the front end of the contract, so that way they'll have some salary cap room, I guess, to give Davante Adams his deal as well as Jair Alexander. But through the numbers and the language of the contract, Aaron Rodgers' deal will include $150 million over the first 3 years of the deal.
Right.
Do you think he's going to play out the full 4-year contract?
I honestly don't, but stranger things have happened, but I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Now, of course, I didn't start off with the news that everybody was talking about yesterday because I'm not really invested in it, and I'm sure you're not either. But Tom Brady.
Yeah. Tom Brady. I'm not surprised. Like, when I saw it, I genuinely was not surprised. In terms of questioning why, I don't really have a question why. Frankly, I don't care. Like,
yeah, that's where I am with it. I don't care.
Yeah, I just think, at the end of the day, he stepped away, twiddled his thumbs, had nothing better to do, realized he was going to be his wife's errand boy, probably following her around the world on her, adventures, and decided, you know what, maybe I'll just go back and throw the football. As long as I ain't got to do training camp and none of that stuff.
Of course he's going to do Of course he's going to do training camp. Of course he's going to do training camp. I mean, but see, when people are all saying he's back, well, where did he go? I mean, for all intents and purposes, his retirement lasted for 40 days, like he's Noah's Ark or something like that. And he didn't miss training camp. He didn't miss no OTAs. He will not have even missed it so much as a snap. So where did he actually go? Nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere.
You know what I mean?
And his boy is likely to follow suit.
Right.
And stay there.
Well, because before, last week I was hearing some stuff about Gronk to Buffalo. I'm sure that's not the case now. Carlton Davis has already re-signed with Tampa Bay. They have lost a couple of pieces on the offensive line. That's interesting. But you got some dudes on that defense that's not are free agents. But the thing is, the way I saw it is like, okay, Tom Brady comes back. Okay, fine. Basically, what team is going to win the NFC North and the NFC South. The Packers and the Buccaneers, because every other team in the NFC South is pretty much trash unless one of them lands Deshaun Watson as their quarterback. Then that changes the narrative. If I was Deshaun Watson, me personally, I would go to the Saints. I know this has been made a big deal now over the last hour about Deshaun Watson possibly going to Atlanta because that's where he's from, blah, blah, blah. Atlanta is the top dog city in the South, blah, blah, blah. But from a football standpoint, if I'm Deshaun, I want New Orleans. Because if I'm gonna get traded in the NFC South, I want the team with the best weapons and the best defense. That's New Orleans.
The question becomes, what are you giving up, though? It all boils down to that. What are you giving up?
I get it. Excuse me. I understand. I get it. But I mean, we'll see. I am interested to see where he ultimately ends up. So now, have you seen the moves that the Chargers have made on defense?
I have, and that's kind of, I looked at that whole, in the big picture thing, and yeah, they clearly feel their offense is in a great place, and so they're going all defense, and yeah.
Well, and that's why I'm happy that we've made the moves that we made, because as soon as we got Russell Wilson, first thing I see is, Khalil Mack is getting traded to the Chargers. I'm like, damn it. And then who else did they get? I know they just signed somebody.
Cornerback.
J.C. Jackson. Yeah, I talked about it yesterday. Yeah, J.C. Jackson. I'm like, damn it. So I'm thinking about what's on their defense now, and yeah, they are satisfied with their offense and they're going all in on defense. But I tell you what, even their defense can't substitute a coach that makes dumbass decisions.
This is true.
Now, Chris Harris, I heard, is a free agent. Come on back home, Chris. Come on, Denver. Let's bring him back, because right now we are thin at the cornerback position because Callahan's a free agent. Fuller is a free agent. Really the only cornerback that we have, that we know will be back for sure is Pat. Is PS2.
Right.
So we got to make some noise on the defensive backfield. Of course, well, PS2, Simmons, and I believe Kareem Jackson. But yeah, this frenzy is going to be something. Oh yeah, how do you feel about Carson Wentz to the Commanders?
I don't care. But I do think, despite what people may say, I do think he's probably an upgrade from Heineke. Based on the weapons that Washington has, McLaurin should do better under him than Heineke. But again, he doesn't move the needle. I'm sure some of our defenders are happy that he's back in the NFC East.
I bet you the Eagles are too.
Yeah, get to boo him twice a year.
Yep. You know, they probably that's what their sales pitch probably was to him. Like, if you really want to stick it to the Eagles twice a year, come on to the nation's capital. I mean, now I did say this yesterday, and it was kind of piggybacking off of what you just said. He does have a legit number one receiver, McLaurin. So he should do better. Logan Thomas is a damn good tight end. Curtis Samuel's a good receiver. I thought that Amari, when they said they were going to release him first, I thought Amari was going to end up in either Dallas or Philly. So, well, I mean, that's clearly not going to happen. But, you know, there is weapons, but, you know, he don't have no intangibles, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Like, if things aren't going perfect for him, he folds up like a cheap tent.
One other side note on the Amari thing, the fact that they didn't sincerely try to restructure his contract speaks volumes. I'm telling you what it was. It literally, he disappeared at points and was ambivalent about that disappearance. It's, you know, if you're a number one receiver, you got to have that get me the damn ball mentality. And if you don't have that and you just out there running routes and you just collecting the check. That's it. That's it. I would rather have CeeDee Lamb drop some passes but say, get me the damn ball, you know, and I think that's the reason why they signed, you know, went ahead and signed Gallup anyway, you know, gave him the contract because he's not a real vocal. Well, actually, he is a vocal dude off the playing field. Don't know how vocal he is on the playing field, but he don't never not say, don't throw the ball my direction. He runs every route, you know. And Amari Cooper, while he is arguably one of the best route runners in the league, that does you no good if you ain't demanding the ball.
Well, where do you think Jarvis Landry will end up?
He may end up in Philly. I don't know. But his injury history is the thing that's going to be the linchpin with him, where, you know, as to who pays him and how much. I still think he can be a productive guy, a really productive guy in the right system, but I don't know whose system that is. And I don't know, again, he's a mash unit right now.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa took a stab at him, a serious stab at him, just because you can put him in that role where Chris Godwin was at, because you don't know when you're going to get Chris Godwin back. I would hate to see him go to Tampa, but, you know, Brady has to load up to really be effective. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him in Tampa, or I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to New Orleans, depending on who the quarterback is. Because that's anybody. I think any skill position player who's thinking about going to New Orleans, that's your biggest question. Who's your quarterback? You know, is it going to be Jameis? Or is it going to be, you know, if it's Deshaun, that makes a big difference. But is it going to be Jameis but Jameis is a free agent too? And speaking of quarterbacks, what do you think of Trubisky going to Pittsburgh?
Honestly, nothing.
I actually think it's a good fit.
I think it may be a good move for him. If Tomlin can get something out of him, you know.
I actually think it's a good fit. I do. I actually, just given his body type, kind of a younger Ben body type, but without the attitude, because he's not seen as a malcontent the way Roethlisberger was. And you're playing with better receivers than you had in Chicago, outside of Allen Robinson, and I'd like to know where he's going to go. But yeah, I actually think that's a low-key good pickup.
Yeah, I mean, given their circumstances, that's arguably the best they could do.
Yeah.
They're still out there, so I mean, and he's still young, so he may be redeemable.
Absolutely. Marcus Williams, former Saints safety, he signed a 70-year deal with Baltimore. I think that's a good pickup for Baltimore. Williams is a good safety. He is. He's just the guy who really effed it up on that Minnesota Miracle. But other than that, like, he is a really, really good safety, and he's still young. And the Ravens haven't been that solid on the safety position since they cut Earl Thomas. Understood why, but now I think they've made up for that. So
now I will say this: you know what's still out there in the ether, right? And they being real quiet, which is uncharacteristic. They being real quiet and getting mixed signals, mixed messages. Every day it changes as to whether or not Bobby Wagner is really on our list or not.
Oh.
But with the releasing of Miles Jack, that changes the equation a little bit.
Yep, I was going to ask you about that. Yep, Miles Jack just got released from Jacksonville, and he's still pretty young, too.
That changes the equation a lot. So, we'll see. I know they're going to get there. They're not trying to hoard up this money. They've got the guys that, except for Jaron Kearse, pretty much everybody else that they wanted to sign that was on last year's roster they had. So they got money if they really want to go after Wagner or Jack.
Well, if our article has already come out saying that the 49ers are not going to pursue him because of the luxury tax that they would have to pay for Bobby Wagner.
I would go Jack personally, but I mean, Bobby Wagner would be a great leader, but age.
31 years old, if you think that's old.
I think he's 32, but comparatively speaking to Miles Jack, who was only, 24?
Well, he's not. Miles Jack ain't that young. I mean, he was on that 2017 Saxonville team. But I think he's in his late 20s. I think he's about 27, 28. B-Wag will be 32 come the start of next season. He'll be 32 come the start of the season. So, like I said, hey, bring, come on, Bobby Wagner. We got a place for Bobby Wagner. You know, Russell Wilson is his boy. We got a place for Bobby Wagner.
Miles Jack is 26.
26, yeah. Okay. Well, he'll be 27 come time the season starts. But still, right. I mean, 5-year age difference. You know, I mean, so yeah. He's like the last guy left from that incredible 2017 Jacksonville defense. And that surprises me that they would get rid of him because of the fact he's still so young. But, you know, it is what it is. So I know you don't do the NCAA college tournament thing. So what's going on? What's your NBA intel?
It's the same as every week. You don't know. Because these teams are up and down. We took an L last night to Sacramento. That shocked me, but it didn't shock me at the same time. The same thing with the Sixers. They're taking these L's, and you know, when Harden, the first couple games Harden played, they looked like world beaters. Now they look average. I mean, Embiid is still doing Embiid, but Harden went from having them monster numbers to, you know, particularly against the Nets. Yeah, I mean, they got blew out.
Kyrie took his mojo that game.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I don't know. And in the West, I mean, the West seems to be holding steady.
Golden State's getting healthier.
You know, Golden State's getting healthy, and the Suns look like the Suns for the most part. Every now and then they have a slip and fall, but for the most part, they look like, you know, they got a 50% chance of being in the finals.
I'm starting to think that this might be the Suns' year.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, I just want to see what happens when Golden State gets fully healthy, and they're almost there. Draymond came back last night. It was the first time in over 1,000 days that Steph, Clay, and Draymond were on the floor together. Wiseman is, they say Wiseman is on track to come back. So I just want to see what it's like. Steph dropped 47 last night on his birthday. I mean, there was some huge scoring numbers drop. Cat got 63. Got 60 for Minnesota. Steph dropped 47. And I just want to see what Golden State looks like. I mean, because I want to see that matchup. Because now it's so rare now that you see, the team star players playing against each other. That's a rare thing now. So, I mean, I'm starting to lean towards Phoenix because Phoenix is, for one, they're fun to watch. I mean, I watched Phoenix beat the shit out of us the other night, but it was absolutely fun to watch. It was. It was. I was like, man, they playing ball. And then they did it again last night. I'm like, they look good. But then when I see Golden State, look like because I guess now you can call them the old guys. The old guys ain't done yet.
Right. I think, with those teams, it'll probably come down to those peripheral pieces. What's the kid, the guard off the bench for the Sun that played for us? Cameron Payne.
Yeah.
Cameron Payne's and Jordan Poole's of the world.
Yeah. Well, Jordan Poole can play, man. Jordan Poole can ball.
Yeah,
that dude is nasty.
That may ultimately come down to because, in terms of the starting lineup, they both present problems for each other.
Well, Golden State, what I noticed Golden State is starting to do now, they're going to a 3-guard starting lineup. They're starting Steph, Clay, and Poole, Wiggins, and Kevon Looney. Now, I don't know how long they're going to stick with that lineup. Particularly, I mean, they can't play a lineup like that going up against Phoenix. They can't, because Ayton would average 40 on that lineup. They can't. They would have to have Wiseman, and they would have to run a more conventional lineup, which means Poole would be coming back off the bench. But did you see the Lakers last night?
I didn't see it. I saw highlights from it.
Well, LeBron was looking mad, won't he?
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? And I said this. This is what the rest of the Lakers season gonna look like. It's gonna be LeBron just trying to get numbers. And at the end of it all, LeBron is going to do what LeBron typically will do. He's going to get his numbers and going to say, look, I got mine, but I ain't had no help. That's what he's going to do.
Well, they're flirting around with not even making the play-in. But, the people who are clinging on for dear life, and me, honestly, I'm not one of them. I went into detail on this yesterday of why it gets on my nerves that they get the attention that they're getting. The same reason why I would go off about the Cowboys getting attention. I understand the brand, but for me personally, it's about wins and losses. And every time the Lakers win a game, here we go. Every sports show in the world is saying, hey, have the Lakers finally figured it out? No, the Lakers haven't figured nothing out because they're a bad team. You win one game and then you lose 5. It's been like that all season long. You know what I mean? Like the Lakers have given.
He won't ride the Lakers proverbial dick, but he still, he'll because most of the time when they win, it's because LeBron had that game, and so him. Let me tell you something, Skip LeBron.
No, that ain't even Shannon ain't been doing that. So even with what they'll do is they'll grade his individual performance.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he'll talk about LeBron and he'll trash the Lakers as he should, but he'll shift it to LeBron, and then the argument becomes because how him and Skip go back and forth about LeBron. It'll shift to that.
Well, yeah. Well, whose performance was better, LeBron or KD's? Or I know. But as far as them as a team, they haven't given any indication all year that they have figured anything out. Now, I understand what Stephen A. is saying. You get Anthony Davis back healthy in a playing situation, you at least have a puncher's chance. I get that. But you're going to end up playing Phoenix or Golden State in the first round. Good luck.
Yeah, they gonna smack that ass down. They gonna smack that soft ass AD. There's nothing, no.
Especially now that AD didn't talk shit about Phoenix last season. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
Yeah, saying, well, they know what's up. I got hurt. We was gonna take him out. I'm like, oh, good job. So now if we do make the playoffs and we have to play them in the first round, you've given them extra incentive to annihilate us. Good job. From a dude who's only played a third of a season and you talking shit, get healthy. Like, come on, man. So, you know. But did you hear about, I mentioned this last week, the thing about Russell Westbrook and the bullying, if you will?
No.
You know, you know how Skip Bayless always calls him Westbrick?
Right.
Well, that has started to travel. That has started to take.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. And yeah, he started to take that. He getting into it with fans for calling him Westbrick.
And his wife.
Oh, soft ass. Yeah.
His wife came at Skip.
What did the wife do?
The wife came at Skip. The wife came at Skip on Twitter and was like, "Yo, I mean, how is disrespecting somebody's name being critical of their basketball play?" Because Skip tweeted back to her and said, "I'm going to continue to call things the way I see it. I'm going to continue to speak my truth." She's like, okay, if he's not playing good basketball, how is that okay? How does disrespecting his name? What truth is there in that?
I'm trying to figure out. I mean, since time began, like literally, media has always been critical when it comes to athletes. And yes, they will say some off-color things. Maybe not to the degree like Rush Limbaugh, racist stuff, but they will say off-color stuff and based on a player's name or even give him a nickname. So you disrespect yourself, Russell Westbrook, by collecting them checks and not playing up to your potential or whatever. So, you got bigger fish to fry than worry about what a columnist or a talking head is calling you on TV. Just like worrying about with the fan. You're going to take time out your day to stop and address a fan chanting Westbrook. Well, they paid the ticket. You know what I'm saying? And they seeing you shooting bricks. So, yeah, Westbrook.
Well, Magic Johnson. I mean, I came on. I did a quick joke on Tuesday saying that Skip has been saying that for a long time. It's nothing new. It's just now caught fire. But it's like if somebody wants you to if somebody wants you to stop disrespecting their name, I mean, you could stop, you could ease up. But I mean, I understand what you're saying. Magic Johnson came out and basically demanded a halt of the Westbrick thing and said we need to stand by our guy. But I mean, no, I do understand what you.
Player, Magic. You're a former player, so of course that's your stance. But just in general, bruh, and that's not even Skip Bayless is saying. He didn't create that. He stole that from Twitter or somewhere in the cyberverse.
No, I think Skip has been calling him Westbrick for about a decade now, since the Oklahoma City days.
But again, even with that, these guys' level of sensitivity. Do you remember
I don't disagree with that.
Washington Bullets heckler?
Yeah.
With the glass that used to just literally, that's what he would do. He'd come and sit behind the team bench and just the whole game.
Yep.
He would just go and go. And what did them dudes do? They played basketball. They ignored them and they played basketball. And that's it.
Okay, now with that being said, what did you hear about Naomi Osaka?
I heard vaguely. I heard she was crying about something.
A heckler.
A fan was saying.
Yeah, a heckler said, "Naomi, you suck."
Okay. And that made her cry.
Not only that, she wanted to stop the whole match. Like, she wanted to stop the whole tournament. She asked, could she have the microphone so she could address the fans? I was like, bruh. Like, that's like, I know Westbrook might have seemed thin-skinned, but I'm like, dog, you actually is out there crying? And this wasn't even a man who said you suck. It was a woman.
Yep. My statement remains the same. That you don't want to be, you don't want that smoke, then stay your ass out of public life. And being an athlete is public life.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But to an extent, who you are, Naomi Osaka, the professional athlete, is a public commodity, thus you are subject to being judged by the public, thus you are subject to criticism by the public, and you suck is a euphemism. You play terrible. That's all it is. You suck equals you are playing terrible. So they could have said the same thing, could have just said those 4 words, and would you still have cried? Man, take your sensitive ass home.
And I was talking about this yesterday, and I said, it's not. Look, I said I understand we may not know what's going on in these athletes' personal life, but when you are a performer, it doesn't matter whether you're an athlete, whether you're an entertainer, whether you're a politician. When you are a live performer, getting heckled comes with the turf. You know that before you ever take the stage or take the court or take the field. You know that because your coaches are going to tell you, your agents are going to tell you, your family, if they know any damn thing, is going to tell you. So I'm just like, if you can't like, and this was specifically for Naomi Osaka. If you can't deal with that, when you know that that's coming, you're the highest paid female tennis player in the world. You got Serena beat. You're the highest paid female tennis player in the world. And if you can't take that, then maybe you shouldn't play tennis for a while.
There's that, and then there's, with the exception of race and family, those are the only 2 things that I think are
off limits, out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Yeah.
Anything else, Serena, we just brought up Serena. Serena had to do, you look like a man, blah, blah, blah. She had to deal with stuff like that. What she do, she went out there and balled out and won them tournaments. And, okay, this dude just won. How about that?
And first of all, Serena is a goddess. She ain't no man. She is a
but they
goddess.
Gonna say it,
no, I know. But the truly great athletes.
Michelle Obama looked like a man,
But the truly great athletes, that fuels the fire. I remember I would see people talking shit about Kobe and talking shit to Jordan, and that would amp them up.
Like just in general, from a. What do you think? And we heard some of it, but like just in general, what do you think Spike Lee was saying to Michael Jordan, or saying to Reggie Miller?
Yeah, right.
Come on now.
I remember a game when I was a small kid. The Bulls were playing at Utah, and a fan started heckling Jordan because I think he dunked on Stockton or dunked on Jeff Malone. And they said, pick on somebody your own size. And he came back down the next play and dunked on Mark Eaton and looked at the fan and said, is he big enough? The fans can fuel that shit. I remember a fan heckled Kobe in Houston, and then Kobe scored 38 straight points. A fan and Ron Artest heckled Kobe in Houston, and Kobe dropped 38 straight points on him. It was like, okay, say what's like, it's, I guess, if you're a live performer, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a singer, whether you're a stage actor, whether you're a politician, whether if you're a goddamn school principal, heckling comes with the turf. And I got nothing but love for Naomi Osaka, but I would tell her this to her face if she was standing in front of me right now. I would tell her, toughen up, or don't play tennis.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
That's how I feel about all of them. And it's not just athletes, it's any public figure. Like you said, politicians, actors, anybody. If you're in the public eye, you're going to be subject to that scrutiny. And yeah, you're going to get some unfair things said. You're going to get some nasty things said. 2 things. Race, kids, in terms of our
race and family. Race and your family.
Race, the white people don't deal with the race part, but race and family. Anything else, people are going, I'm not saying I endorse it, but people are going to say it, and you need to just deal with it. Suck it up. Paparazzi, that's been an argument forever. I can't have a life. Well, you chose your life. When you chose to be Brad Pitt or Jack Nicholson, you chose your life. And if Jack Nicholson goes for a walk, or out in public, yeah, it's going to be cameras trying to see what Jack Nicholson is doing. The same way people show up in the theater because they want to see what Jack Nicholson is doing. So, it is what it is. Adopt a Brad Pitt mentality. Make yourself look like a hobo or bum. That way you can walk around in Soho and ain't got to worry about nobody bothering you.
Or just let it brush off your back. I mean, look, I'm the type of person where if I know that I've reached a certain status at my craft and you have somebody that's trying to throw shade on it, I look at that as you're saying this to me because you know I'm great. When the haters only come after the great ones.
Right. Or it could be because I'm legit unperforming, but
or the weak one, yeah. Or but hecklers like to kick somebody when they're down.
The thing that people, these athletes, specifically athletes, rather than the politicians or anybody else, the actors, they need to realize fans take things personal. The same way you're taking the heckling personal, they take the team losing.
That is true.
So they take you underperforming personal.
Yeah.
They feel like they paying your salary because they buy the tickets, they buy the jerseys,
buy the merch, yeah.
They buy the NBA pass to watch you. So, we need to stop acting like you're doing the fans a favor by showing up to shoot the basketball. You getting paid millions to do that. You doing yourself a favor.
Right. And again, Naomi Osaka, if you don't like it, go to Ben Simmons' route. Because Ben Simmons, to me, is pathetic. And that's
it's gonna get worse for him. He ain't felt the brunt yet.
No, and that's the crazy thing about it, because Ben Simmons was one of my top 10 favorite players in the league before he pulled this weak ass shit. Because I'm sorry, Ben Simmons to me is pathetic.
Yeah, well, sucks to be them, but I have to side with Skip. You want to call him Westbrook, he can call him Westbrook. Put the ball in the basket, and then he can't call you Westbrook no more, Westbrook.
Well, it's not only the Westbrook thing; it's that literally on a daily basis they do a montage clowning Russell Westbrook's performance. Literally, they highlight every turnover, every missed shot, and make it like turn him into a clown show.
Okay, and so when JaVale McGee was Shaq,
yes, I know. Yes,
what?
I know.
His mentality was so what?
Yeah, JaVale McGee went out and won some chips.
Right.
He did.
And so that's it. While they still refer to it, just in general, they got to put a little respect on his name at the same time.
Yeah, man. JaVale McGee went out and he won him, 3 chips and about to get shit. He might get a 4th this year because he went with Phoenix.
And that's how you handle that.
Yep.
That's literally how you handle it. You just go out and play. You can't worry about what the headline or what, first take or whatever. You can't worry about that. If you tuning into that, you living wrong. As an athlete, you tuning into that, you living wrong. If you tune in and see what Skip Bayless or anybody else is saying about you.
Oh my goodness, we are in such a sensitive society. I swear.
There was a guy in the league once upon a time, and I really didn't like him. I just didn't like his personality, and to a degree, I still don't, because he's still in the public forum somewhat. But he for lack of a better way to say it, the dude was kind of too forgiving about a lot of things.
Who?
Just in general. Gilbert Arenas.
Agent Zero. I just saw him arguing with Kwame Brown on YouTube.
Right, and his general, philosophy, he just, and maybe that was, a weakness for him as a player, but as a person, just in general, he don't care. Like, okay, you don't talk about me, so what? It is what it is. Everybody get talked about, and that's just the way you need to be. But what do I know?
I remember when he dropped 60 on the Lakers. And Kobe said in the post-game interview, said that dude has no conscience. He said he doesn't care what you say about him. He said he's just going to keep doing what he does. And, hey, in that line of work, when you're in the public eye, you do have to have that. But, I don't know if you've watched him and Kwame Brown going back and forth on YouTube.
I've picked up some of it, but as I said, I don't like Gilbert Arenas, so I can only tolerate so much of him.
Well, one of the joints is...
I'm gonna tell you somebody else who's been going in on Westbrook, but I bet you he ain't his wife ain't dialing this dude up or hitting this dude up on Twitter, and I bet you Westbrook ain't saying Steven Jackson. What?
Oh yeah.
But you ain't got nothing to say about Steven Jackson.
Probably because Steven Jackson is a former player. Probably. If I was a betting man, I would bet that he's not saying nothing to Steven Jackson because Steven Jackson is a former player as to where Skip Bayless is not. If I was a betting man.
You might be right.
I mean, Steven Jackson's a former player. He's an NBA champion. Certain people you'll take it from because they are your peers. They have the qualifications to say it. I'm pretty sure Russell Westbrook feels like Skip Bayless doesn't have the qualifications to say anything about his game because he can't do it. Well, Steven Jackson could do it, and he did it. And he won at the highest level. So you take that from somebody like him. That, like I said, that's just if I was a betting man.
Well, like I said, is Westbrook need to understand Skip Bayless got a job to do too, and that's part of his job to criticize. Yeah, I mean, voice unpopular and popular opinions.
I don't know why he don't just go on Undisputed and cuss his ass out.
I mean, you could do that.
I remember Richard Sherman did that back when he was on First Take.
He would look like a fool doing that, though.
But see, Richard Sherman cussed him out in the Stanford way.
So it's one thing, it's one thing going on there, and you cuss somebody, and they don't even realize you cussed them out because you speak a certain way. Westbrook, he don't come off as that kind of guy, cerebral guy. Bayless would make him look stupid on there. More importantly, again, the fan base is going to look at Westbrook and say, you took time out your day to go to First Take when you could have been in the gym shooting. That's how they're going to look at it. Because you're not, the Lakers are losing. They're a bad team. And for the bulk of the season, you were the scapegoat, be it right or wrong. You were the scapegoat. It'd be the same as Anthony Davis trying to defend a position right now. You can't. Matter of fact, they call him, what is he? I forget what the names they call him. You don't see him addressing it.
Oh, AD, I forgot. I know we've heard that his check engine light is always on. AD always dinged up. I think I heard that.
Always disabled or
something around that line.
That's what I'm saying. So it happens. Yeah, I mean, man up, LeBron. I've been calling LeBron LeBronica for years.
Well, Skip Bayless called LeBron LeBrick.
Yeah, LeBrick. He's been called that too. So I mean, it is what it is.
What got me was that I think what got me was that when Westbrook did the interview and he's saying he was at his son's school for parent-teacher conference, and one of the kids, he said his son loves his last name, and I think one of the kids came up to him and was like, "Oh, you that Westbrook guy," and I was like, "Oh, ow, ooh, a kid, ooh, damn, shot to the heart, ooh." I'm gonna kill you. Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's what that's like, damn. Because like I said, I've heard that nickname for the last decade. It just didn't catch because Oklahoma City ain't the market that LA is. And they were always in the Western Conference Finals, so it wasn't but so much truth to that. But I don't know. I mean, I agree with you that these athletes, hey, don't get me started. I think society as a whole needs to toughen up now. But I'm sorry. I think Naomi Osaka's one is like 10 times worse. I ain't seen Westbrook cry on the court yet. Like, this chick started crying on the court.
She told me I suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know there, bro, because I don't know. It's terrible.
Yeah, man, that is definitely, that's next level, and as far as sensitivity.
And even from a tennis perspective, where it's, the women have showed up and showed out in a lot of cases. The American women in particular, I can't see, like, we ain't talking about Venus and Serena. I can't even see, like, Monica Seles. I can't see Martina Navratilova Billie Jean King, because they got called all kinds of things because they were open lesbians.
Oh yeah.
They never reacted one way or the other. They did, except for that ball on that court. Was the reaction and holding the trophy at the end. You cheer for me, you boo me because I'm a lesbian. Oh well.
Yep.
So I don't know. Sensitive world. It has nothing to do with people think that social media and all that is contributing to all this. Man, this has always existed.
Oh yeah, it's just
always existed.
You just hear about it more now.
Right. The people now are weaker mentally.
I agree.
Everything,
I agree.
everything bothers everybody. And some things that should have bothered people for years didn't bother them, and now it's good that it does bother them. But that's not the majority of things.
Sir, I have two quick questions for you. Well, one quick question and another quick statement. Can we have peace on Earth so these gas prices can go down?
No.
Oh.
No, because Vladimir Putin is still going, and the only solution I see to this is either A, World War III, or B, he gets assassinated. I'm not saying America should throw their hat in and do the assassination. NATO is a lot of countries, even somebody within his own country, the dissenting party within his own country. That's how dictators are toppled. You either got to take the country out and take him out, or you got to do it covertly and take him out, like Gaddafi, people like that, So I think that's the only solution because the dude is too ego prone. What I do think is interesting to me is the party, at least part of the party here, supporting Putin, the Republicans.
Oh man.
Putin. Saying, Putin's not such a bad guy. Why should we really help Ukraine? Ukraine does nothing for America. Even Tucker Carlson, has Putin ever called you a name? Has Putin ever been racist towards you? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Fox News, do you realize what you're doing? If I'm the American government, again, I send somebody to have a strong talk with Fox and Tucker Carlson in particular, because you're working against national interests. This could escalate to a global stage, and you are an instigator because they're literally using your material every night on Fox News and as part of their propaganda in Russia, lying to their citizens, telling them they're not at war with Ukraine. But all this goes back to really the Republicans during the Obama administration, where Ukraine was supposed to become potentially part of NATO. They fought against it. Obama put sanctions, heavy sanctions on Russia. Trump gets elected. First thing he does is remove those sanctions. Then puts a pressure campaign, years later, puts a pressure campaign on Ukraine because he wanted to dig up dirt on Joe Biden and refused to give Ukraine the weapons and stuff that America and Obama had agreed to give them. So they would have been more prepared for this. This didn't have to happen. And even now, Trump is still doing rallies and still, with his lips firmly planted on Putin's ass. And this is the guy that however many millions of Americans want to re-elect in 2024.
I thought he wasn't going to be able to run.
Well, that hasn't happened yet. You got to get a criminal charge actually against the man.
Right.
And the wheels of justice move particularly slow when there's a lot of bureaucracy involved. And that's exactly what's happening. Because he's all kinds of violations. Like right now, even him doing those rallies, and he's been accepting donations. Ever since he left the White House, he's been accepting donations for a campaign that's not even in existence from his donors. And that's what the FEC is accusing him of right now, which are felonies. But it's only relevant if you want to actually charge the man.
Okay, well, again, my advice to the world would be, I think all the world leaders need to get together and roll up a fat one, light that shit, smoke that shit, pass that shit, and end this shit. because it's a lot. It's unnecessary nonsense, and people's lives are being taken for what? Well, now my quick statement to you would be, sir, I have finally finished up with Ozark. I am totally caught up.
So what you think?
I think that Ruth is out for blood.
Well, I meant, what do you think of the series?
Oh yeah, I like it. Definitely like it. Definitely. It's the Caucasian version of Power.
But it makes more sense. A lot of the stuff on Ozark actually makes sense.
No, but I like it. I rock with it. Like I said. Well, I mean, you know, the son.
The only thing that they have in common really is the two sons that you just want to punch in the face.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, the son, yeah. Jonah, yeah. He will tell in a heartbeat. But I think that's because he like Ruth. He likes her. But Ruth is out for blood. I thought it was disgusting. Wyatt and that girl, that old lady, Darlene, I thought that was just gross. They ain't had to go out like that. But I thought that in general, their whole couple was gross. Couple thing was nasty.
The thing about it is...
But I know that happens in real life.
Outside of the daughter, outside of Marty's daughter, what other female have you seen Wyatt even around?
No, that's true.
He's a hillbilly.
That's true.
Ruth is a hillbilly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's socially awkward. So yeah, the old lady, put it on him. Even though you and I look like, she like Mom Rock.
Yeah.
But for him, it was probably his first piece of pain. So first person that actually paid attention to him outside of a family member. So I don't know. It's a good show. I do think it's interesting that they say, hey, look, this the end. We're not going to drag it out. We're not going to just keep going no matter what the ratings are. But I look forward to the second half of the season.
Yeah, that's what is that? April 29th? I think that's when that starts up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do I. Oh, have you watched the show Winning Time?
No.
The you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The it's the docuseries about the Lakers Showtime dynasty.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know. Yeah. Is it a documentary or is it like a?
It's supposed to be a doc. It's supposed to be a docuseries.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I planned on downloading that and because I know some people will be interested in it, but now I haven't sat down and watched it yet because there's Bel Air.
Oh yeah, yep. I'm all into Bel Air too.
Which I tell people this: you can enjoy it as long as you just forget about the Fresh Prince.
You got to.
Like you never ever saw the Fresh Prince.
You got to.
And just go with it.
You got to. You really have to. Because I swear, I'll be ready to smack the shit out of Carlton every episode.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly is Jeffrey.
I don't know, but Jeffrey is the muscle.
Or something.
He is a G.
You're like a mild fixer.
Because he ain't nobody's butler. I'll tell you that right now. Jeffrey.
And I'm this Aunt Viv got my vote for bad as Aunt Viv though. I'm gonna go with this Hillary too. I'm sorry though.
Hey, but see, Hillary actually into jazz.
Yeah, this is true. Well, they're different because Jazz is a grown ass man. Will is 16 in the series. Jazz is a grown ass man.
Yeah.
So they ain't gonna be hanging around too much like they were in Fresh Prince. So
yeah.
It is what it is. But I like I was saying, I got a lot that, and then obviously Snowfall is back.
Yes.
Which is another whole thing that just craps on Power.
You really hate Power, man.
And you can't tell me Snowfall is not better than Power. Like way better.
Oh man.
When I watch these shows, there are shows that I watch that I can't take seriously, and I watch them knowing I can't take them seriously. Power was always one of those. Power and Empire was a better show for me because Empire didn't even try to be serious. Power tries to be serious in situations, real life situations that are nonsensical, like Tommy just rolling up into Chicago, and not immediately getting a bullet put in his head talking that junk.
Yeah, I watched. I caught up with Tommy too. I was 2 episodes behind on that. I watched that last night. Force.
Right. He'd have been dead. Like, he'd have been dead. He'd have been dead. That's the reality of things. In other shows, they would have portrayed it that way. A show like Snowfall, they'd have put 2 innings and kept it moving.
Hey, they are gangsters a bitch on Snowfall. They really are.
Like that, yeah. It's a lot.
They don't care. Like Leon now all of a sudden wants to be a revolutionist.
It's the fact that they show the dirty side of the game, things that historically are accurate. For instance, America funding, the drug game to fund the Contras, the wars.
Oh yeah.
These are things they never ever talk about. They just show it and bam, boom, boom, boom. Shows like BMF. I don't need to see any more big meats. I've seen all the documentaries and this, that, and the other glorifying they mess. And then you predicate it with putting a disclaimer saying that, some of this is true, some of this ain't. Well, then why do it?
Well, that's pretty much the gripe that the NBA and the Lakers are having with the show. Because I'm going to tell you this. If you see Jerry West's character, you're going to fall to the floor laughing. If you see the way he acts, you're going to fall to the floor laughing. But I actually do like the show. I actually do. I mean, HBO did say, mind you, we did say that this show was a dramatization of the Lakers dynasty.
Right.
But it's they're only 2 episodes in, but I've dug them. I'm Magic Johnson everything, so I'm definitely into that. They go, and I mean, it starts from the beginning, from where Jerry Buss, initially, is getting up the funds to purchase the team from Jack Kent Cooke.
Right.
But and then he asks, well, who should I pick first? He has a conversation with his daughter. Who should I pick first? His daughter like, well, the two guys that just played in the national championship game. But here's the kicker, Dad. Boston already signed one of them. And Jerry Buss is like, I don't give a damn whether he's black or white. He's like, when you look at that guy, talk about magic. He's like, when you look at that guy just makes you feel good. It's a trip though. You should, like I said, they only 2 episodes in. The second episode just came out Sunday.
I'm gonna tell you what I am looking forward to seeing, and you can look up the trailer for 61st Street.
What is it called?
61st Street.
All right, I'm gonna look it up. 61st.
Yeah, it's coming up in April, and it's Courtney B. Vance. It's about a young brother that was framed for a murder by some dirty cops.
Well, we can have a million movies about that.
It's a series, not a movie.
Okay.
It's a series, and I'm interested in seeing that, and I'm also interested in seeing, speaking of movies, this Samuel Jackson movie coming up on Apple.
I was gonna say the Apple TV joint.
Yeah, where he's the old man and he's suffering from Alzheimer's, but they got this revolutionary new drug and they give it to him and it brings back every memory he ever had in life, all the way back to birth.
Yeah, I would say I gotta get Apple TV.
I have no comment. Gotta get FSTV.
I got you, bro. I got you. I got you. Oh, man. Well, let me get ready to get out of here. Go get my kids. Oh, man. I'm gonna hit you back. R.I.P. to Scott Hall, a.k.a. Razor Ramon.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's the scary thing because I'm having a surgery April 1st. And see, that's what makes me paranoid about that stuff, because something as simple as a blood clot. That's what killed him.
Well, we definitely gonna. we gonna definitely keep you in our prayers. But I didn't. So that's what it was. A blood clot that got Scott Hall.
Yeah, he had hip surgery, and there was a blood clot that matriculated through his system, and that's what killed him. He had 3 heart attacks and then died. Well, three heart attacks, and then went into a vegetative state and life support, and
This was while the surgery was going on.
No, this is after the surgery.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, yeesh. Well, I was watching some old NWO stuff this morning, And yeah, so just R.I.P. Razor Ramon. But homeboy, let me go get my kids. I'm gonna keep up with this NFL free agent tracker. Boy, my Broncos is looking good. And oh, you know what? You know who's the happiest right now that Tom Brady done came back?
Who's that?
Ben Roethlisberger. So now, when it's his year to go into the Hall of Fame, he doesn't have to share the spotlight with Brady, which all of the spotlight would have been on Brady.
That's right.
He now has the year to himself. Well, him and Andrew Whitworth, because Whitworth just retired today.
What do you know about Nicholas Morrow?
Not much.
Linebacker for the Raiders. Apparently, we're in talks to sign him.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, a lot of moves to be made. But we shall be in touch, sir.
Gotcha.
All righty.
All righty, man.
Yes, sir.
Later.
I had to do that, my man Tony. We ain't chop it up yesterday, but we got it. We got the conversation in today. And again, yes, R.I.P. Razor Ramon and all of these sports trackers and these NFL free agent trackers. And tomorrow, actually today starts the first four play-in games in March Madness. Oh, what a time for sports. What a time for sports. Hey, with that being said, you know what? I never said let's get to it and brought in the buzzer. So I guess there's no point for me to say where the buzzer. So it's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. Don't forget to hit that subscription button and become part of the Sports Plus Life family, okay? Surprise episode today. We was just gonna talk some ish, and we ended up having a full-blown on episode of nothing but conversation and content. I'm out this bit. Peace. Love you.